No, this is damning. It really is.
Drama alert. Aya Wilson is out here calling out her own teammates like she's the coach, GM, and team owner all in one. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's body transformation has the internet acting like she just hit Super Saiyan mode. One is stirring up locker room drama, while the other is leveling up like she's in an anime training arc. So, what's really going on? Let's dive in, because this tea is hotter than Aya's ego.
Caitlin Clark in college was not the strongest player in the world. Like, she was somebody that wasn't weak by any means, but we saw when it came to the WNBA that she wasn't able to really assert herself physically. And in fairness, her first game matchup was a tough one because her first matchup was against
Aya Wilson is out here running her mouth again, throwing her own teammates under the bus like she had nothing to do with the Aces falling short last season. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark looks like she just got recruited by the Avengers. While Aya is busy pointing fingers, Caitlin has been putting in the work, and the results are going viral.
Wasn't a championship locker room, Wilson said. I mean, out of the gate, going into training camp, I was like, we ain't got it. Wow. Okay. That's crazy. I always told myself, we're going to get it. We're going to check each box, but we didn't.
Last season, the Aces struggled when it mattered most, and instead of owning up to it, Aya Wilson is out here blaming the locker room. She's calling out teammates like she wasn't on the floor when things fell apart. Oh, so it was everyone else's fault but hers, right? Funny how she went from showing respect to throwing them under the bus.
Is carrying the WNBA, and the numbers prove it. But guess what? Some so-called experts are downplaying her impact. CBS reporters actually said she's not the one moving the sport forward. Seriously? Clark is responsible for over 20% of
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark heard the critics loud and clear after her rookie season. Coach Stephanie White straight up said she needed to get stronger. And guess what? Caitlin didn't get offended, didn't blame her teammates, and didn't run to a podcast for a pity party. She hit the gym, put in the work, and now she looks like she's about to take over the WNBA in 2025.
You know how the league plays, if nothing else.
Yes, she is stronger, first and foremost. And again, she's got a lot of self-awareness. And, she figured that out, right away. Like, I need to get stronger. I can't get knocked around as much. And so she's done a great job of getting in the weight room and really focusing on her areas that she needs to focus on in terms of strength, in terms of, low center of gravity, time under tension, like all of those things. I think the next step.
Caitlin Clark is in the best shape of her life, and the internet can't get enough. Her transformation is wild. She's stronger, faster, and more explosive than ever. You can see the definition in her arms, the power in her legs. She's built for dominance. This is what greatness looks like. The best players take feedback, use it as motivation, and come back better than ever. Caitlin isn't just listening. She's responding with action.
Freaking out when something unexpected happened that freaked everyone out. You could see the surprise on the face of the woman next to him, clearly concerned by the unusual noise that erupted. But instead of panicking, he remained completely unfazed. As it turns out, he was just cracking his back, a sound that might have seemed alarming at first. He gave it another crack in a different position, proving he was totally fine.
She's got a ring, but now that things aren't going her way, she's throwing teammates under the bus like she's driving an 18-wheeler. Accountability? Nowhere to be found out. If Caitlin Clark had Aya's attitude, she'd still be in the gym complaining instead of getting stronger. But Caitlin ain't built like that. She's putting in work while Aya is putting in blame. Funny how one player takes criticism and levels up, while the other takes criticism and starts pointing fingers. Caitlin Clark is out here setting an example, showing what real leadership looks like. Meanwhile, Aya is playing the blame game. Maybe instead of looking for scapegoats, she should take a page out of Caitlin's book.
All have to keep in mind is that the Las Vegas Aces do not have a GM right now. They let go of their GM a couple months ago, and they have not put anyone in that place. And so, hey, Nikki Fargas and Becky Hammond are trying to make some wonders without an actual GM. So let's get into specifically what has been happening. So the latest departures for the Las Vegas Aces include 2 heavy hitters off the bench and 2 former 2023 and 2024.
Caitlin Clark didn't have to say a word. Her transformation speaks for itself. You can see it in her muscle definition, in the way she's moving on the court. She's about to be an even bigger problem for defenders next season. Aya Wilson? Well, she's about to have a whole new set of excuses ready when things don't go her way again. While Aya keeps pointing fingers at everyone but herself, Caitlin is letting her work do the talking, and the internet is loving every second of it. The 2025 season hasn't even started, and Caitlin Clark is already winning. Meanwhile, Aya is still trying to convince everyone she's not the problem. Keep talking, Aya. Caitlin's just going to keep working.
Like, I'm just scratching the surface. I feel like there's just so many areas that I want to improve in and to continue to get in the gym. And
we're talking about GOATs of the W. I need my name to be up there, at least top 3. Like, that's my goal, is like, I want something like, when you're thinking of women's basketball, when you're thinking of the W, I want my name to be on it.
Come on, tell them, Asia, tell them.
Takes, like, whatever it needs to get there, whether it's the rings, whether it's the accolades individually, like, I want to be.
Caitlin Clark saw the nonsense last season and said, not this year. Y'all remember how players were out there acting like tackling her was part of the game plan? She was getting double-teamed at the grocery store, full-court pressed in the parking lot, and flagrant fouled at the gas station. It was wild. But instead of complaining like some people we know, Aya Wilson cough, Caitlin locked in and got to work. And when I say work, I mean work. 6 straight months. No distractions, no vacations, no I need to rest my body excuses. Just straight grind.
Beautiful season. The Indiana Fever, based on what they did last year before she got there, based on how they look now since she's gotten there.
They're gonna make the playoffs, Ocho, and they didn't do that last year.
Yeah, it ain't rocket science. Sis, it's good.
You don't get to the level she got to without using some type of.
Aya Wilson has been busy running a one-woman excuse tour. Oh, I was tired. Oh, we had injuries. Oh, the refs didn't give us calls. Girl, please. The Aces got handed a super team and still looked lost when it mattered most. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark got tackled like she was in the NFL and didn't say a word. She just hit the gym and turned into a Marvel character. Fast forward to now, and Caitlin is looking scary. You thought she was pulling from the logo before? Now she's pulling from the other team's locker room. You thought she was tough before? Now she's dropping 40 while carrying defenders like a backpack. And the best part? She's just getting started. Aya, on the other hand, is still explaining why she couldn't get the job done. It was a long season, yeah? Caitlin's season was long too, and she spent the entire offseason making sure defenders are going to need therapy after guarding her. It was fatigue. Caitlin's been in the gym for 6 months straight, no days off, and you're talking about fatigue? Please, let's be real. Caitlin Clark showing up to training camp looking like a superhero while Aya Wilson shows up with another excuse is the funniest thing ever. One of them has been putting in work. The other has been putting in interviews. One has been lifting weights. The other has been lifting blame off her own shoulders. One is about to dominate the league, and the other is about to find a new excuse for why she didn't. Now the season is about to start, and you know what's coming. Aya Wilson will be on the sideline talking about we gotta stay locked in while Caitlin is busy sending the ball into orbit. Aya will be on the bench looking confused while Caitlin's defenders are filing workers' comp claims. Aya will be looking for sympathy, but all she's getting is a front row seat to the Clark show. The league tried to slow her down last year. Now they've got to deal with a version of Caitlin that looks like she's been training with The Rock. Meanwhile, Aya Wilson will be somewhere still blaming the refs, the schedule, the sun, the moon, and the alignment of the planets.
That a winning team should, quote, look, sound, and feel a certain way. I gotta tell you, there's a lot that one could take out of that right there. Wilson said that the Aces didn't meet those standards.